Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we are tackling one of those really essential things, the supermarket. I mean, we're aiming for mastery here. Forget just pointing at the butter.
That's exactly right. The goal of this deep dive is to make you a totally autonomous shopper.
Yeah.
We've gathered all this vocabulary, these complex phrases. You'll be able to handle everything from store geography to, I don't know, getting a refund.
So this is like the advanced level of retail confidence.
It is. We've looked at lists, dialogue samples, even some consumer psychology.
So if you're, planning to live in an English-speaking country, this is your shortcut. You sound like you know exactly where the organic kale is hiding.
Exactly.
All right, let's unpack this. Where do we start? The terrain.
The terrain is perfect. The first step is just knowing where you are. We say supermarket for the big general store, sure.
But it's not always a supermarket.
No, it could be a smaller mini market. Or, and this is a key distinction, if you just want fresh fruit and vegetables, you go to a greengrocer.
I think that's a really important point for learners. A greengrocer is specific.
It is. If someone says they're popping down to the greengrocer, you know they're not going for, dog food.
Right.
So once we're inside the big supermarket, we need to know the structure. The main paths are called aisles.
And that's a tricky pronunciation, isn't it? The S is silent.
Totally silent. And products sit on a shelf or maybe a higher rack.
And the big storage area in the back?
That's the warehouse. And that word becomes important later when we talk about asking for things they might have in the back.
Okay, but before we even start shopping, you need the tools. And this is where that whole UK versus US thing hits you right away.
Immediately. The big basket on wheels.
A shopping trolley in the UK.
And a shopping cart in the US. You really have to know both.
And sometimes they need a coin, right? A deposit.
Yeah, you'll see a little slot. That's a coin deposit.
Yeah.
You get it back when you return the cart.
Okay, so let's jump ahead to the end, where you pay. Another big split.
A huge one. It's the till in the UK.
But in the US, it's the cash register. Or the checkout counter.
Getting those basic terms right is it's step one to sounding fluent.
Okay, so let's move through the departments, where the actual groceries live.
Right, we start with the produce section. That's all your fresh fruit and vegetables.
Then the bakery. Fresh breads, muffins, that kind of thing.
And then there's the delicatessen. This place is interesting.
It's not just a place, it's an interaction, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not self-service.
Exactly. You have to talk to the butcher or the clerk. You have to say how much you want.
So you'd say something like, could I get a 1/4 pound of the smoked turkey, sliced thin?
That's perfect. And that interaction forces you to use specific quantities.
Which brings us to other zones, like frozen food or canned goods.
And the bulk food session, which is getting more popular, that's where you bag your own nuts or grains.
And a quick cultural note, for medicine and toiletries.
In the UK, you look for the chemists.
Whereas in the US, it's the drugstore or pharmacy.
Different names, but basically the same stuff.
Okay, so let's tackle something you mentioned earlier, the container vocabulary. This feels like where fluency really shows up.
It absolutely is. You can't just say, I need butter. You need the specific container word.
All right, let's do a rapid-fire round. Bread.
A loaf of bread.
Milk.
Usually a carton of milk.
Tuna.
A tin of tuna.
Butter.
Comes in a tub of butter.
Flour.
A bag of flour.
And eggs.
An egg carton.
Mayonnaise.
Almost always in a jar of mayonnaise. Mastering these little words is a huge boost.
Fantastic. So now we know where things are and what they're in. The next step is, how do you actually find them?
The language of the quest.
Huh. I like that. So you have to ask for help.
And you have to do it politely. Never just interrupt someone.
So you start with,
Excuse me, do you work here? It's crucial. They might be another shopper.
and once they say yes,
Could you help me? Or could I ask you something? It just sets up the interaction properly.
and then you need a good question, not just pointing.
Right. Structured questions are clear. Pattern 1. Where can I find the item?
Where can I find the international food section, for example?
Perfect. Or pattern 2, using the store's geography. What aisle are items in?
What aisle are the drinks in?
Exactly. And the responses will be short. In aisle 3, or near the soup section.
Okay, but what if you get to aisle 3 and the shelf is empty?
Good question. You suspect they have more, in the back.
So what's the best phrase to use?
The insider phrase is, do you have more flour in the back? The phrase in the back shows you understand how stores work.
Right, it implies you know about their warehouse. That really separates you from a tourist.
It does. Now, what if you're not sure they stock the item at all?
How do you ask about that?
Two main ways. The simple one is, do you have any item? Like, do you have any whole grain cereals?
In the other one.
A bit more formal for specialty items is, do you carry item? For example, do you carry locally made jams?
Using carry sounds more sophisticated. It suggests you know that stocking an item is a business decision.
It is a nice linguistic touch. Now, before we check out, we need to talk money.
Prices and deals.
Yeah. If you can't see a price, just ask, how much is this?
Or the full sentence, how much is a bottle of milk?
Yep. And you need to spot the sale vocabulary. Things are on sale, half price, 20% off.
But there are different kinds of sales, right?
There are. A clearance sale means they're getting rid of old stock.
A grand opening sale is for a new store.
And if the whole store is shutting down for good, that's a closing down sale in the UK.
Or a closeout sale in the US. Knowing these terms tells you how good the deals might be.
Which brings us perfectly to the transaction. Your cart is full. You head to the checkout counter.
Let's talk about the speed of this exchange.
Okay, so you put your items on the conveyor belt. The cashier scans them with a barcode reader.
But you need to pick the right line.
Right. If you only have a few things, look for the express checkout.
Usually says 12 items or less or something like that.
And then there's the automatic checkout, the self-checkout where you do all the work yourself.
Let's talk about etiquette here. The little plastic stick.
The divider, it's so important. You use it to separate your groceries from the next person's.
And what if the person behind you just has one item and your cart is overflowing?
The polite native phrase is, you can go ahead of me.
Please, you go first.
It's a really essential courtesy.
Okay, so now it's your turn. The cashier starts asking questions. Fast.
First, payment. Will that be cash or credit?
Then savings. Do you have a loyalty card?
Then service. Would you like a bag? And maybe, would you like any cash back?
And cashback is when you get extra cash from your debit card transaction, right?
Exactly. And speaking of payment, another spelling difference, CHEQUE for check in the UK.
And CHECK for check in the US.
And after you pay, the single most important piece of paper is the receipt, sometimes called a ticket.
You have to get one.
Always, because that receipt is your key to any post-purchase issues.
Which involves a whole other set of vocabulary for returns.
Yes. You need to know the store's return policy and the difference between a simple guarantee and a money-back guarantee.
And the phrase to use is just direct, right?
Very direct. I'd like to return this, please. Or, I'd like to change this for a different size.
And the response you'll get might be complex. You can get a refund if you keep the receipt safe and bring it back within 2 weeks.
Exactly. Understanding that conditional sentence is really advanced comprehension.
It is. Okay, so we've mastered the language. Now let's talk about the psychology of the store, the strategy.
Right, because the store is not organized randomly. It's designed to make you buy more.
To encourage impulse shopping.
Precisely. The sources all confirm that staples, like milk and eggs and fresh food, are put in the outside aisles or way in the back corners.
So you're forced to walk past everything else, all the chips and chocolate and convenience foods.
It's all designed to tempt you before you get to the milk.
And the checkout is the ultimate temptation zone.
Absolutely. That's where you find candy, magazines. They know your willpower is low by the time you're waiting to pay.
Knowing that helps you resist the temptation.
It does.
Let's talk about loyalty cards. They're more than just a discount, aren't they?
Oh, much more. When the cashier asks if you have one and you say no, you often pay a much higher price.
So it encourages loyalty.
It does, but more importantly, that discount card is a data collection tool. They are trading you a discount for your shopping data.
So that data is more valuable to them than the money they lose on the discount.
In the long run, yes. You're paying them with your information.
That's fascinating. And what about shelf placement? We've talked about brand name versus no-name items.
There's a strategy there, too. The famous brand name items are usually right at eye level. Easy to see, easy to grab.
And often featured in signs that say sale or buy one, get one free.
Right. The cheaper no-name versions, they're often on the bottom shelf or the very top one. You have to work harder to find them.
Making the premium item the easy choice.
Exactly.
So, last thing. Let's cover the essential signs you have to be able to read.
Okay. Besides things like 70% off F, look for reduced to clear. That usually means a very deep discount on something they want gone fast.
And it might not be refundable.
Often not. And outside, look for signs like open 24 HRS a day.
That was a huge amount of information. We've gone from the shopping cart all the way to understanding the psychology of a refund.
You really have the complete toolkit now. You can ask where the canned goods are, use your loyalty card with confidence, and even tell the cashier at the till to keep the change.
We've learned all about avoiding impulse purchases, but I want to leave you with one final thought. Next time you're in a supermarket, think about what we discussed. Why are the absolute basics, like milk and bread, always in the farthest corners of the store? It's not an accident.
It forces you to pass every single aisle, every single shelf.
It's the ultimate retail strategy. They are inviting you to resist temptation. So as you walk through that store, look for the subtle cues designed to influence your basket. Every step you take has been planned by someone in marketing. Now go test your knowledge.